That's a great way to put it. For sure. Well, thanks for that, Chuck. I will get you. I'll get you some answers for Dialogflow, and we'll get more. There are some training videos that I just created for all the software. So if you don't have those, I can get you links to all those too. And then we're going to start putting out more stuff on on all the on specifically Dialogflow, because that's something that people have asked for. And I didn't know John would make that plugin so quickly. We had talked about it, and then
maybe that's why it isn't working. Maybe it isn't ready. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it was definitely a beta version that we put out to test. So let me look into it and see what I can find on that.
All right. Sure. Hey, thanks, but I'll let somebody else on now.
Yeah, totally. Let's see here. Media Shield. Who's Media Shield? I love it. I don't know who Media Shield is. But guys, if you guys have questions, now's the time to throw them down there. If you want to throw them in the chat, or if you're on in our accelerator program, you guys get access to these calls and can hop on and chat live. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it for hopping on while you're on vacation, dude. That's awesome. So let's see what's important for me, and I'll just kind of rant and ramble, and if you guys have questions that come up, I'll get into them. But I think that what's been most valuable for me is seeing how important it is to have, I don't know if it's about like leveraging and diversifying, right? Like I think like those are the two words that really come to mind, is like how do we leverage these platforms and leverage these tools so that we can get more clients, so that we can improve our clients' results, and then how do we make sure, like how do we diversify and make sure that not all of our eggs are put into one basket, right? And so I was, when I got into marketing, like chatbots was not the first thing that I started learning, or actually, it wasn't the only thing that I learned or that I was able to offer to my clients before I started doing that. And so the reason that that's important is because whether chatbots are here, whether they go, these learnings and these new ways of communicating they're not going away. They're really not going away. So for you, it's really important to make sure that not only are you mastering these fundamentals and mastering how to really leverage and utilize these things, but really making sure that you are keeping an eye on building your skills for the next one as well. So Amy, DJ, what's going on? If you guys are here, Media Shield says that's okay. So if you guys have questions, throw them down into the chat, and let's talk about it. Kevin asks, do we have a testimonial library? When you talk about a testimonial library, what do you mean? And Kevin's asking this from our accelerator call, and I'll share. When I think about what I'm thinking a testimonial library is like having a database of case studies, having a database of results, having a database of things that you can lean on, right? When you are like having sales material that you can lean on when you are pitching, when you're prospecting, right? So like, do you have a video of a case study of you crushing like certain results, right? Do you have a like a landing page or a demo bot setup, or do you have like these prescribed, right? Predefined, predetermined sales collateral that you can use consistently, right? Because every time you talk to a gym, or every time you talk to a chiropractor, or every time you talk to a certain industry, you don't want to have to recreate the whole process over and over again. And so what's really valuable is having what we call sales, like sales collateral, like sales material, sales content that you can use over and over and over again. And this allows you to scale your prospecting. This allows you to optimize it, right? Because now you're not sitting there, and maybe you'll change the first 30 seconds and you'll record a customized intro and a customized outro, but the video, in the middle is all the same, right? Well, now that allows you to save time, but then it also allows you to measure whether or not that is actually working and whether or not that video is something that's effective. If you're changing your pitch, if you're changing your sales deck, if you're changing your video, if everything looks different every single time, you're never going to actually know whether or not it's this that's working or it's that is the problem, right? So it's, for me, it was a challenge at first, because it was like, you think that making everything really customizable would actually increase your results. And to an extent, that does make sense. And there is some truth in that. However, if you are building a business and if you want to scale it and make it, and create a real business, right? Or something that's consistent, well, you're going to have to, create some things that are template like. You're going to have to create some plug and play materials that you can utilize so that you're not reinventing the wheel every single time, right? So I think that is so important in terms of if you talk about a testimonial, a testimonial library. Like for our agency or for our accelerator, we do not, right? And I've offered, to certain people sometimes some case studies to use. However, we don't have that, But one thing that you can do is that if you do not have results, right? If you do not have the results for yourself, you don't have to lie in order to be able to leverage those results for your own sales, right? You can say other people are getting results like these, or other people are getting results like these. And I know the next question is naturally going to be, well, Hector, can I have your results and can I use yours? And the answer is, I've posted them out there. I've put them out there, so go take them, go find them. I frankly do not have the bandwidth to go out and create individual case studies for you guys, at least right now. I don't know, maybe it'll happen in the future, but you can leverage other people's results and simply say, here's what other people, here's what your competitors, here's the results that they're getting, here's the type of numbers that they are getting. And so I think that having something like that is super valuable. Do I have it? Do we have it? No. But should you create one? Yeah, absolutely. For sure. So Kevin in the accelerator program asked a great question just about sales and getting clients, and having a set of case studies that you can lean on every time makes it really, really helpful. DJ Schul says he has a meeting with the potential this Thursday. He created a demo bot using Image website. We don't know how to set it up for demo without showing many crash. I cannot use my new Facebook page because of the embargo for the demos. So ideas. Yeah, I build all my bots on Chatfuel right now. What's great about Chatfuel is that you can build the bots without needing to connect it to a page. And what's great about that is that you can actually test it without needing to connect it to a page. And so if you can test it, you can actually record a video of that interaction with the test bot. And that's what I would do. I would record a video of a demo bot, because videos of demo bots are almost more impactful than actual demo bots, because sometimes demo bots are not always the most reliable, right? It's unfortunate, but it's a reality we have to kind of deal with, right? So if we can record a video that actually shows what it's going to be like, and we can walk through that video on the sales call, Well, now it's going to be much more reliable. We know what's going to happen every single time because the video is recorded, and obviously it's not going to change the recorded video, so there's some reliability and some consistency there. And you just say, yeah, this is the test that I made. And if you sign on as a client, well, you'll be able to have one for yourself and interact with it. And it's like, some people might go, well, they're not gonna be able to play with it, not gonna be able to use it. And it's like, they don't know any different. They don't know any better. They don't know that you sent out links to other people and let them play with the bot, and now that you can't because of the stupid embargo. So that's, I think, is really, really valuable in being able to stay consistent, right? And stay consistent in bringing in leads, and obviously closing that client, DJ Sewell. So hopefully that helped you, my man. So let's see, any other questions that are out there? What time is it? It's 4:35. I've got to try and fill some time. I can be quite a filibuster, I guess, but I'd much rather you guys throw down questions that you guys have, and otherwise I just have to rant and ramble about things that I think are valuable. But I'd love for you guys to get into what you guys are getting, or what you guys find and deem relevant. So it says, Tim says, can I see a video of a demo bot that you use to approach potentials? So let's see here. So let's see, Riva demo. Let's see, do I have one? Let's see, that would be good if I actually had one on my computer, right? So let's see, demo. Oh, shoot. Demo bot build. Let's see if this is the right one. Nope, that's not the right one. Demo bot. So here's something that I guess you could do. This is not maybe exactly what I'm talking about, but I just recorded a video of me kind of walking through it, and you can see there's many crash there, some older video, but I just kind of recorded a video of me walking through what it would actually look like. And this was kind of more of a build, but you can just create a screen share and just record that. Like, let's see here. I'm gonna stop that share. We did one. What did I just send? Oh, it's not on this computer. Let me see. So let's go in here and see if I can find one for you, because that's a great question of what that looks like. And it's like, it's pretty simple in terms of, all I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to show the functionalities of the bot, right? I'm trying to show what it's going to look like. So let's see, I might have one on this computer. My brand new virtual reality computer is already in the crapper. It's actually like broken right now, which is obviously shitty, but all right, here we go. Ooh, I got it. Let's check this out, y'all. Here we go, Tim. Great question, Tim. So here it is. So it'll just say, hey, here's, I'm gonna pick up the speed here. So it'll just go through and it'll show them the bots, or show them kind of the functionality. It'll show them, what it looks like. And this is just recorded, right? Here's a video. I recorded it right on my iPhone. You can do it makes the new iPhone makes it really easy to do that, to screen record. And then you can add audio. I didn't on this particular one, but you can add audio of you talking over it so that they can understand what's happening in real time. But that's all I'm doing, is I'm just capturing a screen share of the demo bot and what it looks like. So yeah, does that help, Tim? Hopefully that helps. It gives you as well. some ideas. Kevin says he wants to teach, or wants me to teach about Chat Fuel. Okay, let's dive into Chat Fuel because why not? Let's see. Okay, so let's do that. Let's share that screen. We're going to share that. So what should we get into today? Let's talk about routing, right? Let's talk about conditions. And I'll show you what I mean here. So let's go in and let's take a look here in the Millennial Skills bot. And let's take a look at conditions, okay? So here's what we mean by conditions. So if I go in here and I go into my people tab, what it does is actually allows me to be able to segment people based on all of my attributes that I've assigned, right? And so I can go in here and I can go say, you know what, the lead magnet, I want to find everybody who came in off of our dollar trial, okay? Everyone who came in off of our dollar trial, here's all these people, okay? Load more, there's a few people here. Now, I can export these people. I can save them to a segment. I can add them to a sequence. I can unsubscribe them to a sequence. So I have all these ways to be able to interact with these people based off of the attributes that that came in, right? And so that's actually really crazy. So I'm looking at this number here, 277 people. I need to do some math. Let's see, divided by 2 times 47. Wow. Okay. So that's kind of cool. That's very exciting. So anyways, you can use attributes a couple of ways. So let's go down here and let's just add this group down here, this test group. I'm going to put Q&As down here. And what you can do is there's a couple of ways that you can use attributes, right? And so let's go down here. The first and the obvious way is to be able to just assign them, very much like, you know, adding a tag in ManyCrash. What you can do is if they just land on this block, right? If they just land on this quote unquote block, or what in ManyCrash is a flow, well, then it's going to tag them, or it's going to assign them here with this attribute. And I would actually maybe liken attributes to custom fields more than tags, because tags are one, they're only like they only use one data point for segmenting, whereas attributes actually require 2 data points. And what I mean by that is you need to have the attribute and then you need to have the value, very similar to the way that you need to have the custom user field and then you have the value here. And so what you'll notice is that, let's say that we have let's say like if we want to have them subscribe. So in Chat Fuel, you do need to assign a subscribe tag so that you are only messaging people who have actually opted in and subscribed. It doesn't do it automatically, or I mean, it'll allow you to message people, but if you want to, it doesn't really make it easy for people necessarily to like unsubscribe. So you want to have like it's not just like a one click, you know, like one button. At least I don't think that they did that. Maybe they changed it. Let's check it over here and let's see if we can just hop in and like delete somebody now. I don't think you can. That's interesting. But what you need to do is you need to be able to assign people, or maybe you can actually change their status. Oh no, you can't change it here. It doesn't look like it. So you can get all their. So that's sorry for like showing you guys like info for that person, but what you need to do, right, going back to this attribute that I was talking about, is you need to be able to assign in here who is subscribed and who is not, right? So it would be like, you know, either subscribed, yes, and then the other side is like, you know, unsubscribed, right, is no. And so, or I would just put not set, right? Because now if I go in here and I send a broadcast, well, if I go in here and I send a broadcast and I choose to go in and send it to a particular attribute, right? Well, I'm going to make sure that I don't send it to the people who are unsubscribed. So I'm going to make sure unsubscribed is not yes, right? So like anybody who is not yes. It's kind of like I mean, it kind of is like a double negative, right? So maybe it doesn't make sense in like, English or grammar, but in terms of logical conditioning, if they are unsubscribed, then we don't want to send them a message, right? And then you can add another filter here to send it to, whatever other kind of, if you want to segment it even more. But basically, those attributes will allow you to assign them as subscribed, unsubscribed. You can assign them, to what type of lead magnet they are, whether they came in, through a particular resource or whatever it was. And this will allow you to be able to market to them more effectively down the road, right? So this is kind of the essence of attributes here. If you guys have specifics, again, let's get into it. But another way that you can assign attributes is actually through quick replies. So let's jump up here and let's go. We want to go to this one. So notice here. Nope. Oh yeah. Okay. So notice here. What's going to happen is that what they can actually choose is, let's see, so keep one software. I want to show you that. Let's go over here, and if I go on the left, here it is. So this particular one is, notice right here on the bottom, you'll see that it actually saves whatever their answer is, and it actually saves that to this particular attribute. So the second way that you can utilize attributes is actually through quick replies, and this quick reply will actually get saved to this particular attribute. So once again, here's the attribute, and here's the value. Here's the attribute, and then here's the value that it's going to save for it. And so this allows you to say, this allows you to be able to say, hey, here's the previous answer, right? Or you can now pull it out. You can now see that what we do is we actually pull out whatever the answer was that they just answered. They just gave us this answer, and we're going to say, okay, you're going to keep, and then whatever they just said. And so you can actually use quick replies to be able to create attributes as well. Okay, so that's kind of the second way to do it. Let me hop over here and see if there's any questions. And there's one more aspect. So Kevin says, do these attributes only exist within the bot? Yes, they exist on Chatfuel, and then you can export them to a CSV as well. In terms of GDPR, I know that Chatfuel is going over that stuff specifically this week, so we'll stay tuned on that. So let's go here, and the last thing that I want to talk about is routing, right? So you'll notice here that there is actually a go-to block, and go-to blocks are like conditions in many crash. And so what that says is that if they reach this part of the block, then what we're going to do is, then if they have this particular attribute, right? If they came in from, from the dollar trial, right? That $1 trial. If they came in from the dollar trial and they go directly to, and they hit this block, well, then it's going to send them to a particular place, right? So it'll send them to, let's send them to the, the trial offer, right? But if we add another card and we say, however, if we add this filter and we say their attribute is this, if they're like if they came in from the template, right, and they wanted the home services template, then I want you to send them this way, right? I want you to send them this block. So now what you can do is you can utilize these go-to blocks, and you can create conditions to say, if they're like this, send them here. If they're like this, then send them here. And what it'll do is it'll actually factor that in order so that the first one will take precedence over the second and the third and the following ones as well. So that's something that you can do with attributes. Kevin asked, could you create a personal booking bot by using simplebook.me free account? I don't think so. It's going to be anything with a personal booking and what you want, where people select one thing and it's probably just going to take more than a free account to be able to do what you're asking, Kevin, which is people come in, they select a spot, and then no one else gets to select that same kind of spot. And you probably wanted to ideally integrate into a Google, Calendar or something like that. Frankly, that is just going to require some special integrations. It's just going to require some special stuff that I don't know if is going to be able to work on that simplebook.me free account. So Kevin says he has a ClickFunnels landing page, how use Link Wizard and Magic Zap can help you. Okay, so what we can do is we can do a couple of things. So Kevin is talking about the software. So let's go over here and let's show you. Okay, so Kevin, if you're using ClickFunnels, what's really, really great about ClickFunnels is that it's a very, very malleable site, and it makes it very easy to be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Do a couple of things with it, right? So let's go here and let's go to member login, and let's go here. And okay, so we also have use Link Wizard, and we also have a Magic Zap, okay? So let's go in here and use Link Wizard. Now with Link Wizard, this is super simple, okay? What's great about this is that I was actually doing it earlier. What makes it really, really great is you can actually pixel people right here in, the link, okay? And what I mean by that is that you can actually create a wizard link, right? You can actually put your URL there. So that's TPS m.me/millennial skills reference equals DDK for the guide, and let's just do that. Okay, so DDK. Now what I can do is I can go in here and I can throw my Facebook pixel in here. So I'm going to go in my ads manager and I'm going to grab my Facebook pixel that I'm going to utilize on that. So I'll go in and all I have to do is just grab my my ID. Okay. Now what I can also do is I can add tags. So I'm going to put here, this is, we'll put Millennial Skills, okay, because that's the tag that it's going to do. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Millennial Skills, we'll add that tag, and then the description is going to be DDK download link. Now, if I have a link preview here, notice that it's just going to give the like get in touch with Millennial Skills. However, what I can do, I can use a custom one, right? So I can use a custom image, or I can use the original. So if I want to use a custom, let's see if I have anything like DDK related. So let's see, I don't know what that looks like, but you can use a custom picture. The title, you can use a custom, so you can say, click here to download your free prospecting guide, right? Instead of saying get in touch with Millennial Skills, okay? And the description doesn't always show up. So if I do all that, okay, let's see if I can grab my URL. Okay, let's go here. I'm gonna grab my pixel. So this is the easiest thing that you can do. And what you can do is you can even create, so now I'm going to grab my pixel ID. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I need to grab my pixel ID right here. Then I'm going to plug that bad boy into here. Okay. And then I'm going to short it. Now, there's a couple of other things that I can do in here, okay? Now I've got my link, all right? So now anywhere that link goes, well, now you can see anywhere that link goes, it's going to have the correct stuff that I put on, right? So let's go here and let's see. So I put that link and let's see if it does the preview. So look at that. It says click here to download your free prospecting guide, and there was that kind of message that I put in there instead of saying get in touch with Millennial Skills, right? And so you'll notice that it makes it really easy to do that. So then what I'm going to do is I can go in here and then I can put some text and I can say, you know, here's the special link below. I can put in here, click me, and then I can put that URL that I have right in here. Okay, so I got my URL. I'm going to copy that bad boy, and then I'm going to throw that right in there. Okay, now those people are getting pixeled. Okay, those people are getting pixeled. So let's go here. I'm going to actually turn this on right here so that I can go directly to it. Untitled block 4, what a great name. Okay, now what it's going to do though is it's going to go through and it's going to basically tag me with these things, right? It's going to tag me as subscribed, it's going to tag me as dollar trial, and it's also going to send me, it'll probably send me some places. Actually, now that I think about it, this isn't even, it's not, you're not even going to see the click me button because it's behind the it's actually behind the go-to blocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this up here, and if I slide it on top of the go-to blocks, then it'll actually register it before it sends me to those other places, right? So let's see. I'm just going to delete these go-to blocks. Okay. So next we'll talk about a Magic app, but now we've got this right here, and so we've got that link, and so you'll notice that before it did it took me to the dollar trial, okay? But what I want is I want to get that click me link. Right? So I go here. Probably not there yet. What's going on? Okay. Let's try it again. So when we get that click me link, okay, that is actually going to be tagged with, that's actually going to have the pixel in it, right? So it says, here's a special link below, click me. Okay. That's actually going to have the tag. I just, right now, I got, it says redirecting in 5. I can actually change this if I want, okay? But right now, I'm getting pixeled right here, and then it's going to take me basically back to my bot, right? Now, so that's the first thing. And then if I go over here, though, and I look into my pixels, you should be able to find, right? So if I go in here, if I want to look at data sources, I should be able to see those particular links in these events, right? And now I can create custom conversions, or I can create custom audiences based off of the people who are clicking certain links, right? So, so I think that's so important. Let's see if I can go in here and details. All right, okay. So we've got page view. I want to change this to URLs. So then I can go here, URLs. Hopefully this works. Okay. So now I've got these URLs, and let's see, where's the m.me one? Or domains. Let's check domains. Maybe we have it here. Huh. I don't know if it just hasn't registered yet. But now you can go in here, and what actually might be even more valuable is if you can put event tags on those particular pieces of content, right? So I think that's like, whether it's page view or it's, whether they're a lead or something like that. So here's an easy way that you can pixel people right from the link, right? So now they get pixeled here. And even if you send them to a different website, or you send them to a website that's not yours, you can still get that pixel fired. Let's talk about Magic Zap and how Magic Zap can actually help you here. And what Magic Zap does is it allows you to track conversions, right? It allows you to track conversions, and it allows you to personalize website experiences, right? So let's go in and do a couple of things. So here's essentially what we want to know, right? So here's maybe let's okay, cool. So how should we do this? What's the easiest way to do this? So let's go in here, and we've got our HD marketing funnel. And what I want to do is I want to track who has actually landed. And I want to track who is actually, see if I can track who has landed on this website, right? And who's actually gone and landed here. So let's go to edit page, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, and I've never done this particular one before, but let's try it out. So let's see, today is, what's the date today? 4/24, okay. So we're going to do 4/24 test. And this really will be a test to see if it works. So parameters, okay? So basically what we're going to do is, if this exists, right? So if there is basically an MID, well, we're going to put an MID in here, okay? If there's an MID, then this is going to fire. And then what we're also going to do is we can actually fill in some information as well. So let's see if we can do this. Okay, so then we're also going to need to pull up our Zapier, right? So let's go in here, and we've got our, where's our ClickFunnels site? ClickFunnels, here we go. Okay. So a couple of things in here that we can do, and here is a old. We still use this a little bit, but let's see what we can do, right? Let's see how we can actually track this stuff. So what I want to do is I want to put in here some JavaScript. Okay, so I'm going to go in here. And basically what I did is I put together some information here so that they can find it, okay? And all of this was actually done in a previous training on the video. But what I want to do here is I want to basically track that this person is actually showing up, right? So, okay, so let's go in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to get our tracking code. And we've got our script from an old one in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to grab our script. So we're not going to mess around with this necessarily. We don't need that because we're not going to necessarily pull in anything dynamically yet. We're not going to be filling in anything on the page necessarily. So let's go in here and we're going to submit that. Okay. So then we're going to turn that on. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to grab that link. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw this onto my ClickFunnels page. So I've got a magic zap in there, okay? That magic zap is for a particular zap, all right? So then now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna create a zap. And so what we basically did is we basically said, whenever someone lands on this page, okay? Whenever someone lands on this page, we can now trigger a zap, okay? We can now trigger a zap. And so let's go in here and we're going to go to magic zap right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to say trigger, choose trigger. We've got our magic app one. That's the one. Success. It works. We already added it. Okay. Now we got our zap name and I'm going to go here 424 test. Okay. So 424 test. That's the one that we're going to do. And that's great. Okay, so now when this happens, okay, when this triggers, we're gonna say we want you to do this. Okay, so actually, all right. So what I need to do is I need to go here, and I actually need to trigger this. So I'm gonna put in. I'm gonna go back. Whoops. So I'm gonna save, and then I'm gonna go back. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this link here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in here. Okay, now what I'm going to do though is I'm going to do, however, I'm going to put it that, and I'm going to put a, remember we put an MID, and I'm going to put it equals, and then this is going to be the chat fuel user. Whoa. The chat fuel user ID. Let's see, well, let me. Good old bugs here. So what this is going to do is it's actually going to pull the chat field user ID, and when I click that, it's actually going to put my MID at the end of it, so my messenger ID afterwards. So let's go here, let's click this block again. Now, what's going to happen is, let's go really, really slow, okay? So here's the link, okay? We have that link. Whoops. Here's the link below. How weird is that? What happened? Here's the special link below. This is the one I want. Why did that not come? That's what we want. Right here. So if we click this, here's what it's going to do. It's going to take me to that site, but you'll notice that it's actually going to have my messenger ID at the end. So you notice it says htsmarketing-solutions.home, and then my MID equals that, okay? So there it is right there. Now, assuming this, let's see, assuming we're going to go back and see if we can retest this. Okay, because now that Zap should have some data here, right? A little bit of data. Okay, so let's see, looking for an existing Zap name. So now that should be able to fire. And so basically at this point, what we can do is we can now add any sort of step here, right? So based on, if we go in here and we go into our chat fuel ID, right? We can add our chat fuel ID. We can add, you know, and F name equals, and then we can put their first name. Right, so now we can bring all of this data from the bot, and now since they clicked on it, we can now tell other places what to do with this particular info, right? So we can do first name, and by throwing and adding all of these parameters onto the end here, what we're doing, oops, what we're doing is we're actually feeding that information to the website, right? And then that information is getting zapped over to Zapier. So this is ways that you can utilize and leverage Use Link Wizard, Magic Zap, and ClickFunnels to be able to do lots of different things, you know. And I think the biggest thing is being able to help businesses know who is coming to their website and where they're coming from, right? And when you leverage some of these things, you can even plug in, right? I would encourage you to go through and watch the video, Kevin. I can tag you in it if you haven't seen it. Go through and watch how to plug in pre-populated, you know, fields. And I think that it might take a little longer than we have here on this call to be able to do that. But now all of this information that's right here, because it's in the Zap, and because if you go in here and now if we add in those things, we go in here and we add element attribute and we say F name, okay? And then we say L name. Well, now what we can do is we can now grab that information from the end of the link here, and we can now display that information into into ClickFunnels. We can now display that information into forms that are pre-populated, right? So it makes it really easy to be able to do those sort of things as well. Let's see. We cannot find this app. That's okay. So let's skip test. And so now we can go in here and set up our second step, test successful. Okay, good. So now what we can do is we can choose the second step and say when someone lands on here, okay, I want you to send an email and say, you know, this person was on there on the page. So let's see, you know, send email. And what I can do is I can pull it from whatever email I want. And basically what this is going to say is if someone like here's what we're saying, right? If someone comes from Magic Zap, right? If someone comes in and they have this messenger ID and it exists, okay? Then we have these names to play with, right? And the only way that it's going to come in with that messenger ID is if it's plugged into a parameter at the end of it. So if it does, then what we're going to do is we're going to trigger this Zap. We're going to send it to, you know, we can send it to me, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to send these off. And what's great about it is that you can now when it goes through, right? If we go through and we test it and kind of run through it, you can pull this information right out of it, right out of the Zap. And so this is what I would encourage you to do. I mean, the challenge is, and you know, for me, it's like, this is why I'm starting to bring on people onto my team to be able to connect a lot of these dots in between, because Zapier is its own beast to learn, right? ClickFunnels is its own beast to learn. And what we're doing here is we're allowing these softwares to communicate to each other, right, through Zapier. And so there was no other like there was no trigger a Zap on ClickFunnels, right? There was no like no button to trigger a Zap. But that's basically what Magic Zap does, is anywhere you plug in this code, right? This script, anywhere you plug that in, it's going to trigger a Zap, right? As long as, you know, these conditions are met. So stay tuned for more case studies, more use cases. And Kevin, I'm going to tag you in the video that walks through with John specifically how to do some of these things, because if you like, it's really you're only limited by your ability to understand you know, parameters and attributes, right? And your ability to understand Zapier. So what Magic Zap does is it triggers a Zap, and then Zapier is its own powerful tool that you can utilize to do lots of different things. So I'm gonna go in here and send the link to you. I'm gonna pull that up as well. And guys, if you guys have any questions, throw them down there and I'll come back and answer them on the replay and answer them later. But I love all of you. This was originally just for the accelerators, but I thought I would open it up to everybody because it'll help. It'll definitely help. So let me see where. Wow, there was a 4-hour video. Oh no, that's us. Let's see, was it a 2-hour one? Yeah, I think it was the 2-hour one. Here we go. Boom. So I'm going to tag you in this one here, Kevin, and you can get the goods. Get the goods in here. All right, y'all. The rest of y'all have an amazing week, and we'll see ya on the next one.